You want shoe?
Absolutely perfect. Make yourself at home and your cocktails are up ahead. The color matches your eyes. That lane matches your eyes perfectly. Red eye. Yeah. Gentlemen, we have Mr. and Mrs. Bob Allen coming here.
All right, here we go.
Allen or Allen?
Mr. and Mrs. Bob Allen arrived.
Oh, thank you. You remember this young lady here, Stan? Leah? Taipan. Look at Holly Cole. Secured U.S. Marines. Look at Holly Cole. U.S. Marine Security. Right there.
Everyone's looked 50 meters off the beach. It seems like we have something coming in from the beach. I don't know if it's a submarine or what. We have submarines coming in. We have somebody coming in from mid-ocean here. We have
Moku never charged one of the batteries. I only get one pack.
The beach is secured. The beach is secured. Please come ahead. The beach is secured. Please come forward. I have no idea what's happening. I think Queen Low might have sent this stuff just prior to his arrival. But I'm sure we'll find it all quite fascinating.
Hi, Michael.
Bob? Carl Banner, do you know any of these people coming in here? How about you, Ronnie Tong? Do you know any of these people? Lou? Lou Gary, you know? I suspect they're friends with President Curry.
Maria played their personal duty Chuck it today. Yeah. For 2 hours.
I've always wanted to be Don Ho. Very much be. And now to think that I'm going to have Andy Russell sing a song with me. Andy Russell always likes to ask a lot of questions in public. No. Could I have, let me see. I think it's, could I have, excuse me, John McCloud, would you, and Randy, would you escort Marvin Silverman up here, please? You see we have somebody here who wants to see him. No, please come up here and have a sound system.
I understand you have a delivery that needs to be made.
Mr. President, I understand you have a delivery that needs to be made. Who is this gentleman? Roger that. Wait a minute. Silverman. First, is that the Silverman we're talking about, Mr. President?
Say it ain't so. Say yes.
I'm sorry, I can't deliver this right. Can somebody helicopter at 0200? I rendezvoused with a submarine just off the horizon. I caught the submarine, came up from about 200 feet, and swam ashore. And you mean to tell me that this package is for Silverman? First of all, sir, you need to be standing at the position of attention. Anytime I make a delivery, you need to be locking your body.
That little salute, like he's waving to someone.
Oh, that wasn't a salute. That was an Air Force. Hello, sir. How are you doing this morning, buddy? I'm going to tell you what, Silverman.
Sir, can you hold this plate? Out of all my time in the United States Marine Corps, you went ahead and were given the opportunity to give a loud and thunderous "Hurrah! Hoo-ha!" But I seem to remember at the dining in, Mr. Silverman stood up from his chair and gave a loud and thunderous "Hoo-yah." And I have wasted my entire night and day, and 2 other nights and 2 other days getting here on Mr. Silverman. Sir, I think you think since your wife is the Mexican consul, you deserve a little bit extra treatment, don't you?
I think you're in a position of attention.
I believe he is, and he's smiling too. I'll tell you what, sir. I'll tell you what. Out of all my times, I have never seen anybody more undeserving of something delivered from Taipei headquarters than yourself. But I have the unfaithful and the untrue devotion, or I should say the true devotion, for the President and Taipei. And I must carry out my orders for which I have been given. So without any further ado, and I cannot believe I'm really doing this, but I'm going to tell you what, I'm going to stick around tonight for security purposes. And let me tell you, Silverman, I've got my eye on you.
Let's hear it for Sergeant Major.
Hoorah, Marvin.
I was going to take a bath.
Absolute 5-0. All right. Lord, you put the pack on the office stand?
That's all you need. That's all you need.
That's too good for absolutely great. Colonel Bates, get in here with me. Come on.
Nice shorts, sir.
Did you get Mr. Vice in here?
No.
Mr. Vice.
Mr. Vice.
How about the Gilly guys?
Oh, yeah, be perfect. Bring him in now. Wing Lo, would you be kind enough to consent to a photo? Or you could escort him. Hey, you could be in the photo. Where's the other side?
I want to know if these guys are being paid for this, or are they?
Or
are they being agreed?
The coloring is perfect.
Okay. Get in here, Marvin. Get in right here. The average family portrait. This is going to be a great. I can see this at every billboard in America. Laura, come on in here for a minute. Come on in with Marvin.
We figured that's
I find out.
Okay, let's have a big hoorah.
I love it when
how far out were you?
They're underwater. This guy's a little bit crazy.
Sir, how are you? Great to see you. Outstanding. Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. Oh, yeah.
Look at the
Oh, yeah. This is great.
Taipan tradition. Bless us, O Lord, these thy gifts which we are about to receive from thy bounty through Christ our Lord. Amen. And thank you very much for helping us gather this unique group of people from the military, from polo, and from all walks of life for a very special moment here on the beach at Halikoa. And God bless the Marine Corps. Amen. You should know that one of the members of the Taipan Society spent 2 years. Mr. Vice, your request is granted. The floor is now open for toast.
Mr. Vice, can I do the first toast?
The mess recognizes Mr. Randy Russell 8 gold.
For the United States of America.
To the United States of America.
Gentlemen, United States of America.
He's taking his time.
To the Republic of Paraguay.
You check the guest.
Oh, BJ the basement.
Mr. Vice! Request permission to offer a toast.
Granted.
I beg your pardon, Mr. Vice.
Sir.
You can put yourself down for a $5 fine.
Mr. Vice, I would like to offer a toast to General Charles Krulak, former commanding officer, 3rd Battalion, 3rd Marines, former commander, Marine Forces Pacific, and currently Commandant of the Marine Corps.
Gentlemen. Commandant of the Marine Corps.
Commandant of the Marine Corps. Hoorah!
We don't have to. Oh, we don't. No, I've got to down that. Oh, thank you. Why didn't you tell me? I tried. Looking the other way. Okay. Offer it to the charity.
Actually, 2 times a day, and our jump seat policy is really good. We take it in the jump seaters.
The United States Marine Corps.
United States Marine Corps.
Hoorah! Hoorah! Sit down, Silverman. Hoorah! Sit down.
I think we're making our point.
Mr. Vice, I'd like to propose a toast to the Royal Taipan Society.
Sir, I cannot hear you.
I'd like to propose a toast to the Taipan Society.
Stand up.
Mr. Vice, I'd like to propose a toast to the Taipans.
To the Taipan Society. To the Taipan Society.
Mr. Vice. Looking around this room, Patrick, I don't see very many people from the original Taipan gathering that occurred in 1982 during the period of time of Bishop Baldwin, Rewald, Dillingham, and Wall.
I believe your party. Are you addressing Mr. Vice?
I'm addressing the group.
Mr. Shriver, if you take your seat, please.
Mr. Vice, I'd like to propose a toast.
Mr. Shriver, take your seat.
Mr. Vice, may I propose a toast? The Sergeant Major for keeping an eye on Mr. Silverman.
Sergeant Major.
Hoorah! 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 Sit down, Silverman. Mr. Vice! I'd like to propose a toast.
Point of order. Sergeant Major just drank to himself, that's a fine.
Colonel Banner, speak, sir.
Colonel Banner, please retain your seat.
It is obvious that all other forces are going to be subordinate today. So I shall have to propose a toast to the Army, to the Air Force, and to the Merchant Marines, and the next governing force of the Marines, the Navy.
Mr. Shriver, take your seat.
Oh boy, I tell you.
Colonel Vander?
Mr. Vice, may I propose a toast? I propose a toast to our absent friends, and to begin with, Mr. Fred Daly.
Ladies and gentlemen.
A toast to our absent friends and Mr. Fred Daly.
Mr. Vice?
Speak, sir.
Ladies and gentlemen, raise your glasses to a fallen comrade, Colonel Richard Blank, a Marine, our commanding officer, my friend, Number 5.
Colonel Richard Blank.
Hoorah. Mr. Vice, I'd like to propose one additional toast.
Speak, sir.
I'd like to propose a toast to a very good friend of mine who introduced me to much of this culture in Hawaii, Mr. Nicholas Peter Calvert, United States Navy.
To Nicholas Calvert, United States Navy.
Nick Calvert. All stand for a moment of silence.
Sorry.
Commanding officer of the 2nd Battalion, 3rd Marines. A while ago was at Punch Bowl, and he wanted to get something. Marines always do it just right, and he wanted to do something just right. Before he does that, I'd like to ask every polo player who has played here in Hawaii, please come over to my table. We have a little special moment we'd like to share. So we'd like to have Sean and Bonnie Tong and Mike Abinger. If you please come over to my table, we have a special moment, and see Leah here. And we there's an old tradition, you know, at Mokulea Farms that on a certain day every year, a very special woman gets one Pataki lei for every very special year. And we'd like to reenact that moment, all the polo players here in Hawaii, starting with Colonel Bates, special honors for Murph Daly.
I was told to sit down.
Ladies and gentlemen, we have one last special lei from Murphy Daly, from another Daly.
permission to open the floor for fines.
Permission granted. We're going to ask Colonel Bates to explain to the non-Taipans and the non-Marines here about the protocol of the mess.
Ladies and gentlemen of the mess, the fining is a bit of a tradition in an open mess, and the purpose of the fine this evening are to enhance and for the Devil Pup program in order to send young men ages 14 through 17 to the Devil Pup program at Camp Pendleton, California. The fines can be levied for actually most anything. There's normally a bit of levity involved in this, so please, again, lighten up. Don't take offense. Thank you.
I'd like to add a small footnote to that. In World War I, I think I got both of these stories firsthand from Sam Bandner, who was just outside of Paris during that time. World War I, when the French and British armies were fleeing to Paris and the Germans were winning the war, the 1st Marine Brigade, the first time the Marines had been over there, arrived, and they were told to go back to Paris and regroup. And the Marine commanding officer said, I just got here, I came here to fight. He went out to a place called Bella Woods, where for about 2 weeks, in incredible combat, hand-to-hand, the Marines stopped the entire German army from advancing on Paris. The French made that sacred soil, and it's American soil, that area right now just outside of Paris, because they felt that the U.S. Marine Brigade saved Paris from the Germans. The German press, on the other hand, gave these Marines a designation that would last forever. And the German press the next day, they called these Marines Tausende Hunden, which is German for devil dogs. They thought they were the most ferocious, worst fighters the Germans had ever run across. And many of these Marines are still buried there in Bella Woods, and it's become a very serious and sacred tradition within the Marine Corps, devil dogs. About 40 years ago, Walt Disney, a Marine, and several other Marines outside of Los Angeles decided to start a summer camp program for 10 days at Camp Pendleton, where young men, inclusively from 14 to 17, would spend 10 days, not so much with weapons, but learning military traditions and family values and other values, 10 full days, and they called that Devil Pups. And that program is going on, and it's gone on for 41 years now, and that's one of the reasons we're here tonight, was to honor that program. Colonel Banner, is that the way you told it to me?
Pretty close, Patrick. Why don't you tell them which Marine regiments were involved in the Battle of Polo Lake?
Sam, I wasn't there.
He's messing with Dave. He's
messing with Dave. This is his night.
Colonel Banner, address your questions, Mr. Vice.
I can't believe it. Mr. Vice, can you see what this happened?
Permission granted, Mr. Vice.
Dateline, 10 June 1997. Fast frigate USS Clark, 34 degrees, 15 minutes north, 80 degrees, 40 minutes west, 95 nautical miles northeast of Bermuda. From Marine Officer Candidate Joshua Bates to Lieutenant Colonel and Mrs. John and Stephanie Bates, a.k.a. Mom and Dad. Mom and Dad, with much love on your 25th anniversary. Trying to keep up with your lifestyle is hard enough. I have no idea how you found the time to foster such an awesome relationship while simultaneously keeping the world free from communism and preparing for Mom's appearance at Wimbledon. I love both of you very much. Joshua Bates.
By the way, in case you all didn't figure this out, because it's almost inconceivable that on June 10th of this year, Lieutenant Colonel Bates and Stephanie Bates were married for 25 years. The finest example of a submarine anniversary in the entire world. As part of that, Laura Elizabeth Brent and Mr. Vice would like to come over and present Stephanie and something. Laura? over this way.
Oh, absolutely.
Nothing embarrassing.
Not a lot of women at this level of anniversary receive it on limited supply of Victoria's Secret. You know, Murph, you look.
I have to tell you, Murphy, I'd never be allowed to have a microphone. You look so great at Bukkake. I mean, it just fits you. It's like the greatest days we ever had at Monterey. This came from the same source as that Persian rug you saw in San Diego. This is a Persian rendering of polo, the way it was in 400 BC. If you'd like to see it, it's got a lot more violent. If you'd like to see it, you're all invited to see Sean McLeod, 9 goals, and Randy Russell, my co-host tonight. One of the things we want to do is thank Hawaiians and polo players here for all the hospitality we've enjoyed. So Randy, Sean, and I wanted to throw this party, and we're also throwing a little party at the polo field tomorrow at 2 p.m., courtesy of Bob McGregor and Company. And you're all invited. That includes you, Sam. You're not allowed off the island.
There's Bob Hogan have a microphone at that one.
I don't know.
You're not going to go?
Yes, I did, sir. Yes, I did.
Yes, it's course heading and speed.
It's classified, sir. Thank you.
Mr. Vice,
We want to, myself and the fellow mess would like to fine you $2 for misspeaking, and we'd like to ask your permission to, we'd like to go ahead and levy a fine.
Mr. President, Mr. Vice requests permission to levy a fine on the members of the mess who arrived late.
Permission granted. Describe the situation to us. Who are they? Are they on the...
Mr. President, the individuals that arrived late to the mess this evening are on their honor.
Everyone who arrived here after 1,800 hours, please give $2 to Mr. Vice. $2 for the Devil Pup program, please.
We didn't?
IOUs, credit cards, markers are accepted for everybody but polo players. Words on his experiences in youth. I thought we read a book about that one time. It was called.
Patrick, thank you. Most of you don't know me, and I don't know you. And when I was invited to this tonight, I did not know about the tie to the Devil Pup program. I am not one of the disadvantaged youth that was taken down there to try to become a better citizen. Yeah, I was just one of those screwed up kids in 1968, 1969 that I think some of us were peers at that time. Actually, I wasn't. Those of us in San Francisco went through a pretty rigorous process that I believe the guardsmen up in San Francisco were the ones responsible for back in those days, to actually select people to send them down to Camp Pendleton. I can remember going down there being quite jubilant at the thought that I had been selected for something that was really, really neat and was going to be a whole lot of fun. And when they came on the airplane in Orange County Airport and started screaming at us to get off the plane, I realized I'd probably made one of the biggest mistakes of my life. About 2 hours later, when my hair was completely taken off my head, I was absolutely convinced I'd made one of the biggest mistakes of my life. What I wanted to do specifically was get up here and thank you, those of you who obviously for a number of years have spent your own time and money in sponsoring young men in the Devil Pup program. It's a program that if you've gone through it, you say to yourself, you know, first of all, why me? But secondly, to say, you look around and you realize that those Marines who are taking you through those steps towards adulthood down there in a very short period of time are doing it as volunteers, but somebody, somewhere, was footing the bill. And until tonight, I hadn't met anybody who would foot the bill. So there's a couple of us still floating around the Marine Corps that are on active duty. I know they're from the documentation inside the program tonight, there's a whole lot of guys that have been part of it. But I know that those of us from San Francisco learned a lot, we experienced a lot, and I think most of us probably became better citizens as a result of it. So on behalf of a lot of folks who have no clue as to who you are, I'd like to say thank you. Thank you very much.
Incidentally, there's a wine glass here that each of you is allowed to take home tonight from the this brief encounter. You have to take it home and remember the evening. Because Michael Daly's going to throw the next one at Monterey on the beach.
Where exactly is Mokulehia? Where exactly is Mokulehia?
Mr. President!
Yes, Mr. Vice.
Mr. Vice requests permission to ask that Colonel Sam Badner, Randy Russell, Mr. Sean McLeod come to the front of the mess and stand on the stage.
Gentlemen, please, to the front, on the stage. I'd also like to take this opportunity to reintroduce Wing Low, Gordon Ching's successor for many generations, the comprador of the Royal Taipan Society. Once again, came in the Golden Jet from Hong Kong. Wing Low will come up here, and we have a special moment for these gentlemen.
I read the book. And the other one, the double hat.
Wing Low, permission to open the Royal Taipan packet from Hong Kong. Thank you.
You can only count on you, you know this? You have been the only one. True. Very nice guy. All these guys are just I'm never missing that. You love my son. Of course not. Love him now. Excuse me.
Gentlemen, our attention.
Ni hao ma.
Randy, Sean, just do what he does.
It is indeed my pleasure to be here this evening to present these prestigious awards to Mr. Sean McLeod, Mr. Randall L. Russell, Colonel Sam Badner. The Royal Taipan Society reposes special trust and confidence in the integrity and ability of the named distinguished gentleman, having been chosen by a discriminating group of Mr. Cook, McLeod, Mr. Russell, and Colonel Badner here, including U.S. Marines, U.S. Polo Association, Hawaiian Polo Association, Honolulu Polo Association, Juan Carlos Marriott of Argentina, and having passed every rigid criteria of acceptance, is hereby awarded the following entitlement, Taipan. A Taipan is authorized and empowered to all entitlements of this prestigious award. The following three gentlemen are entitled to enjoy all privileges and emoluments and symbolic lifestyles worthy of the title. In testimony whereof, we have caused this certificate to be issued, our seal to be affixed, Royal Taipan Society. Congratulations.
Not too much.
Thank you, Wing Lo, and welcome to the Royal Taipan Society. Obviously, Taipan quality gentlemen. An honor to serve with you. Randy, I said Randy would like to say a few words.
This is a great honor. I appreciate it very much. One thing we'd like to do for Devil Pups with my company Polo America, we do a lot of charitable events with Polo, and I'd like to have one of our 1998 events benefit the Devil Pups program. So thank you.
Patrick, as always, it's an honor. Thank you.
I would like to thank all the other nominees for tonight, many of whom who aren't up here now. Doggone it.
Mr. Vice wants a joke.
Yes, Mr. Vice. Okay. Yeah, no more bad jokes. Okay. Patent mic joke? Do you have a patent mic joke? I have one, but not that one. All right. Okay, here's a, okay, the telephone rings. Ring. Ring. Hello. Hi there, is your dad home?
He's busy now.
Well, may I speak with your mother?
She's busy too.
Well, is your sister there?
She's busy too.
Well, they can't all be busy. What are they doing?
They're looking for me.
Thank you. Thank you.
I always imagine a little kid underneath the desk.
Pat and Mike were sitting in the church. Sitting in the pew in the church, and Pat got up and approached the confessional and said, "Father, I've sinned. I spent last night with a loose woman." And the priest says, "Was it Fiona?" And he says, "Father, I can't say." He says, "Well, was it Anne?" He says, "Father, I promised I wouldn't tell." "Was it Bridget?" He says, "Father, a promise is a promise." He says, "Well, in that case," he said, "say 6 Our Fathers and sin no more." And he went back to the pew, and Mike said, what did the priest give you?" He said, "He gave me 6 Our Fathers and 3 good leads."
Thank you, gentlemen.
I'd like to also thank Mr. Vice for the excellent job he's done in not easy job to do. Thank you, Mr. Vice.
Oh, I asked her. That was a nice dinner.
Mr. Legary, would you come up here for a minute? We'd like to ask, the lady that's arranged for this is here tonight, Hiroko Legary. Would you come up, Hiroko, for a moment? Hiroko runs the Marine Officers Club here at Kaneohe, Marine Corps Base, Hawaii. And we spent some time working on a very special shirt for her that had her name and 2nd Battalion, 3rd Marines on it, and a lot of other good things. And I lost it. So, I lost it. I've already been fined worse than you'll ever know. And meantime, Marines are used to remedial action. So we do have, Wing Low has another presentation to make for her for the polo tournament tomorrow. One we were going to use for the winner. But we can't think of any better winner than Hiroko, so we'd like to ask Wing Low to present this very special garment for the Polo Club to Hiroko. And if we can open... And Lou Legary, would you come up here for a moment and help us with this? I'd like to mention that while Hiroko's run this mess and run the Officers Club here, her husband Lou Legary, they keep saying we don't have enough sailors around here, and that may be true, but Lou Legary served for 30 years in the United States Navy. However, 29 of those years, where he was assigned full-time to the Rompin' Stompin' Rootin' Tootin' the United States Marines. For 29 years, he was a corpsman. But the story gets better than that. We're looking for Mr. Weiss. Incidentally, we have a very special dessert to accompany Mr. Shriver. You know how, remember when Mr. Shriver went into the bar and he said, when Bob Shriver drinks, everyone drinks. I never forget a little later when he said, when Bob Shriver pays, everyone pays. Well, Bob is so happy to have this 29th birthday again. He's arranged for another very special dessert. Will be here in a couple minutes. Meantime, a lot of women have been very curious about the Taipan Society. Is that true? Yes. I know, particularly Mrs. Russell. So Mr. Weiss wanted to while we're waiting for dessert, he wanted to satisfy that curiosity. And do you think do you have anything that could, we'll see what we can do to satisfy Mrs. Russell's curiosity. I know the consul, honorary consul from Mexico is here. Could you translate this for the ladies? I think it's, for those years in Argentina, I heard something like curiosidad no es bueno para mujer. What does that mean? Oh no.
Curiosity is not good for a woman.
Mr. Weiss. Okay, we're going to speak to the colonel myself for a minute, a small little conference. Mr. Weiss is going to pick somebody here after he had a little conference, and we're going to have them come up and read this for us.
I want to be able to show this.
Yeah, exactly.
I'll go left. Yeah. Got it?
As you may know, James Clamble wrote a couple novels on Taipans. He wrote the book Taipan, and he wrote the book Noble House, which were totally unauthorized, not really the true Taipan Society. However, they did have some parts that were true. And so Mr. Weiss has selected a reading from page 710 of the Noble House, and he wanted to find a very feminine and attractive woman in order to instill this concept with the other women here at this rare moment. Most brief encounters have not had women before. We're trying to venture in the new ground, new arenas. Devil Pup this year, by the way, has females allowed in summer camp.
What page was that again, Patrick?
As a Taipan, Sam, you know it's page 710.
Let me get the shoes.
Okay.
You are a woman and Hong Kong woman, so if you want to have a good life and pretty things, to be cherished and loved and pillowed and safe in this world, be female. How, my darling? Think only of my satisfaction and pleasure. Give me passion when I need it, quiet when I need it, privacy when I need it, and happiness and discretion all the time. Cook as a gourmet, no great wine, be discreet always, protect my face always, and never nag.
Try way.
Wow.
That's good. I'll have one for every day.
How's the workout? Hands. Marvin Silverman's going to lead us in Aloha Hawaii. Marvin was responsible for this music, and he gets full credit for it. All stand up, please.
Blocking his vision, honey.
No, it's all right. It's all right. It's all right.
Again, here we go.
Goes to all of the friends, wives, lovers, all of those who are having birthdays on or around now, Lieutenant Colonel Bates and others, also anniversaries, the Bates, and also Mr. and Mrs. Ronnie Tong, 12 years tomorrow. Happy anniversary.
You know, so